Listen to Career Paths by Implement every Thursday.
You might learn something.
You might not.
Available on Apple Podcasts,
On Spreaker,
Spotify,
on Google.
and iHeartRadio. It's your life. Make it happen.
Dumbass. Didn't we talk about this already?
We're all getting older. I might not remember what you asked me. So.
Huh. I could have sworn Jeff was here before, but maybe he wasn't. Maybe it's just me. Dad did Alzheimer's dementia's in my...
I was just knocking on doors looking for something to do tonight.
Okay. This isn't going to go well. I'm not. This is going to suck, Jeff.
You're good whenever.
Alrighty. Welcome to Career Paths by Infonet. I'm your host, Victor Boudreau. Behind the scenes, Mr. Ryan King. Say hi, Ryan.
Hi.
Well, don't hit the camera. Our guest today is Jeff Whittle. Hi, Jeff.
Good evening. How are you?
You're here. I'm doing great since, you're here to make me look better or something like that. Jeff, how are you doing?
I am great.
We haven't talked for a while. It's been a few weeks. I stopped by where you work, said hi. You were busy. Boy, you guys are.
Yeah.
It was during the holidays or right around there when I saw you last. Actually saw you. But
We keep pretty busy.
Is it that way all the time?
Pretty much.
And
A little more with the holidays.
Yeah, Jeff works at a grocery store, and we'll get into that. How's the wife and family? And
They're doing well.
awesome.
Yeah, everybody's
Have
good.
Good holidays.
Yeah, it was short. It was quick.
But you
Quiet.
I think this year with a lot of people was so. But you got family interaction and
Mostly on the
Zoomer.
video chat. Yeah.
Okay. Well, keeping in touch, that's a big thing.
Yep.
So let's get into it. Bad card. So Jeff, what's your official title at the grocery store? Do you want to say where you work at?
Yeah, I'm at Yolks Fresh Market. I'm currently at the Deer Park store, and
That's Deer Park, Washington.
Deer Park,
Northwest.
Washington,
Northwest.
yeah. And so I am the grocery manager and assistant store manager there.
Wow, look at that. That's a big title. Is there a slash hyphen?
You can put both of them in there if you want.
Yeah, I can't even write grocery. How long have you been doing? How long have you been at the Deer Park store?
A couple different times.
Okay.
I've been there. Had a stint in Spokane for a while, and but I'm in my 20th year overall with the company.
Wow.
So probably 16.
Wow, and you
16
have a
and a half.
history in the grocery business, so we'll get to that here.
Okay.
So we'll back up just a smidge. Give us a little background on you, Jeff. Married, wife, kids, grandchildren,
Yeah.
aunts, uncles, mother, brother,
So
sister.
I'm married. Have been for. I'm going to be in trouble if I get this wrong.
And
I think we're coming up
you
on
watch- You
on
think?
32 years.
If not, she'll remind you really fast.
Yeah,
Jeff.
I do pretty good with that actually.
Well, 32 years she picked you. She
Yeah.
taught you this long or put
Yeah.
up.
So we have seven kids, 5 boys, 2 girls.
Wow.
They're all graduated and kind of out doing their own things. Some of them are trying to figure out what they.
That's
like.
life, though.
Yeah,
That's like
absolutely.
anybody living at home. Any of the kids are
I have my youngest
Okay.
one's still there getting.
figuring out stuff.
Yeah, he's got a plan, but he's
Yeah, sometimes you
kind of getting on the path. And
Okay.
then we have 3 going on 4 grandkids. So
3 going on 4.
Yeah.
Huh. Do you love being a grandparent?
yeah, it's the best. I'd trade the kids for that.
we just we had
Skip the middle. Let's go straight to the rewards.
Once again, let's see. You're not raising them. You can do anything you want, then you get rid of them.
That's right. Sugar them
Sugar
up,
'em up.
send them home. Yep.
Probably a good reason I don't have grandkids, kids or kids in general. It wouldn't turn out well for any of us. Okay, so let's go back. As I brought up, you've been in the grocery business for a while.
A long time. Yeah.
So let's go. When was it? How do I ask this question? How did the family get into the grocery? How did you get into the grocery business? Introduced to the grocery business. Let's go that way.
Okay, so I started as a kid.
A kid? What? How's that? Could you be a kid at a grocery store?
Yeah, well,
I'm
back
leading
then,
you. I'm leading you,
yeah,
Jeff.
back then they didn't have the laws they have today. So
Plus,
that slave labor. No, I'm just kidding.
You knew the owner too, right?
Yeah.
Who's the owner?
So my father owned a couple of different stores, but I started at the one he built in 1975, and started there scrubbing toilets and chopping up potatoes for JoJo's and sorting pop bottles and things like that, and so been had that opportunity, and actually my dad's dad, grandpa on that side, was in the grocery business as well.
See, I knew that. I was trying to lead you to get to Grandpa first, but you went to
he
Dad.
started as a Safeway field buyer, if I have that correct.
Okay.
Way back when.
Sure, yeah.
Buying produce and stuff, and he ended up building a couple of different stores in the North Spokane area. So.
Did your grandpa run any of them?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what.
He had one over in the Indian Trail area, and then he also had one which was Ames, was known as Ames IGA on the Hawthorne Division
This
corner.
is in Spokane, Washington.
In Spokane,
So we're clarifying for anybody outside. Okay.
And so he had that for a while, and then ended up selling that out when he retired. So that was pretty much his lifelong thing. And my dad followed in his footsteps, with the exception of 1 year.
So there's grocery business in the fam.
Yes, there is.
Did you get to go to the grocery stores at your grandpa when you owned them or ran them?
Yeah, a little bit.
But you were how old were you back then? Do you know?
Heavens,
1,
probably
2, 3, 4, 5.
Not single digits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I didn't really work there.
No.
Like I did with my
I
dad.
was just
But we'd visit him.
Yeah.
And try and mooch donuts and candy off of him and things like that.
How'd that work? Did it work pretty well?
He was a grandpa, remember?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm figuring that's the answer, and that's where you learned the grandpa from.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so grandpa did it. Your dad, did your dad work for your grandpa?
There was a couple different times before he went out on his own. And that's where he learned it. That's
right.
where I learned it.
Okay, so then it comes to your dad, and you started working at one of the stores that he had.
Yeah.
How long did you do? So you were 10 years old-ish when you started doing that?
Roughly. Yeah. I mean,
give or take.
we're
so old we don't
on
remember.
Saturdays.
Okay, that's
and
fine.
then when I got in high school, I pretty much did it full time.
When you worked in school.
Right, but
Thank you.
I was working for
I'm not arguing. I'm just clarifying for anybody listening to the show. When you say I'm working full time and going to school, some people don't think that the 40 or the school is full. You went, did what you had to do school wise, whatever time it started to where we went to school, because we went to the same school. A couple of years different, and then you would go work after that or on weekends and whenever. 40 hours. So on top of the regular school thing. Yeah. Okay, I'm just clarifying for the listeners.
Yes, we don't want to confuse anybody.
I'm easily confused too, Jeff. So I never confuse me. So where did it go from there? Did you ever go to college out of high school, because we went to the same school?
Yes.
You worked through high school doing for your dad?
Yeah, I worked through high school, saved money, ended up going on a mission for a church for 2 years to Tempe, Arizona.
Okay.
So I had saved money to do that. When I came back from there, I went to college and I graduated.
Was that local college here?
At Brigham Young University.
That's where I kind of had a clue, because we talked. I wanted you to throw that out where when you said I went to college.
Yeah.
Brigham Young. Some people have heard of that. It's kind of a
down in Provo, Utah.
It's kind of a known college.
Went to the management
I even
school
know
there.
it.
So.
They wouldn't take me, but yeah.
They wouldn't take me today either.
But you went there. What'd you take?
I had a degree in business management.
Wow. Is that so? I'm jumping around. I apologize, but I know your wife. She was with you at that time, or was she not?
We met there.
And
we lived in the same apartment complex.
See, that's where I was trying to lead
went
you with
to
that.
the same congregation at church,
Okay.
and anyhow, the rest is history.
Well, we'll talk about that. So, you went from high school. Out of high school. You did your
mission,
and that was how long?
2 years.
Okay. Out of that, come back to Spokane for a little bit, or did you go? I
came home for a few months.
Okay.
While I was waiting for my term quarter to start at school.
So then you went to Brigham Young University. you met your wife that you didn't know you were going to marry at the time, but you met her.
Right.
You took business. How long were you there?
So it took me about 4.5 years to graduate. Because once we got married, I had to slow down on the classes a little to make sure.
So you got married while you were in school, in
about
college?
about halfway through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That couldn't have been easy. A little challenging, right? Or
Yeah,
was
I
it?
didn't think anything of it at the time. You do what you need to do.
We're young and dumb. We're going to do what we're going to do, and we'll figure it
right.
out.
So,
how long until the first kid came along?
Well, we had one. I said I had 7, but we actually had 8. We lost our first one in college.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear.
So had some heart problems and died during labor. So that child was within the first year, and then then the other 7 were about 10 and a half years apart. So every year and a half or so.
Wow.
Till
was that it had to be challenging financially? But you came from a big family.
No, I don't say there's 10 in my family.
Yeah, so
I'm the oldest of 10.
yeah,
so,
but you weren't in charge and in charge of making money and feeding everybody with your family. But
kind of the same thing, if you manage your money right and whatnot, you might not have everything you want, but we always had everything that we needed.
Thank you. You don't. Yeah. It's. Do you have what you need? That's what's most important.
Never owned that boat or anything like that would be considered fun things. You just have to make friends with people with the toys. That's right. So,
That's the smarter way to do it anyway.
Right.
I have never thought of it that way.
That's right.
Son of a, I got to meet some, and I hang out with Ryan, so he's got nothing. Oh crap! Huh? I got
to change your approach.
I got to get better friends.
I've been waiting for you to get stuff.
Son, whoopsie! That's what's wrong with this relationship, where it's not. And Jeff, you don't. Oh crap!
Well, and at that point, when the family gets larger, that becomes your focus, and that's what takes your time and
if I would have had a family or kids, I've been married and divorced several times, but obviously I don't do very well that way. But if I would have had kids, I was raised to, my priorities changed at that point.
Yeah.
So
and that's
not a bad thing.
And there's not a truer statement that you could speak, because
and you've lived that.
When you hold that child in your arms, there's nothing more important in the world, and you do whatever you can to take care of them.
I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you off track, because I've never done that.
Okay.
What happened when you first held your first kid? How'd that hit you?
Well, the one we lost, or the other one?
Let's not go with the negative, because that's sad. Let's go with the one that you got to enjoy, and for whatever reason, it is what it is. But how'd that hit you as a man?
It's just.
How old were you? Ish?
Oh, 25 maybe.
Okay. So you were young.
Range.
How'd that hit you? Because I don't have a clue how that experience is.
It was probably different because we'd lost the one.
Well, I would imagine.
There was a sense of relief, first of all, that everything went okay and whatnot, and then you're just sitting there going, I'm responsible for this.
Was that scary?
And there is a sense of that responsibility that hits you, and reality is really hard, because you just think everything's going to be wonderful, and you're going to raise this kid and he's going to do everything right and follow in your footsteps and obey you, and then they start telling you no right out of the
Did you tell your dad no?
Well, I'm sure I did.
See, once again, I don't have kids. I'm enjoying. Thank you for sharing.
He's getting older. He's like 82 now, so I could say no, and I didn't. He probably wouldn't remember. So,
but you don't remember. Oh goodness, Jeffrey, you're making me laugh. Where's it? I don't even know what to say. Jeff just made me laugh at him. So here we sit. Ryan, you got any questions for him while I gather my thoughts?
No.
Okay, so
actually, yes.
Okay.
So you went to school for business management.
Yes.
Now your dad had a store. Did he ever do any schooling or anything?
No, he graduated from BYU as well, and in business as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they apparently teach business pretty well there.
26 years before I did.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Huh.
And that's where he met my mom too. So,
Well, let's not send any kids down.
That's right.
Doesn't
need to pair them off. You just send them to Provo.
You know, Jeff, we talked before.
I'm holding back right now. There's other things I could say.
Oh, I think you're a funny man. You're funny. Now say I lost it again. I don't know where. Okay, let's backtrack. Holding your kid, good, bad.
Yes.
Real quick, let me interject. My brothers and I, we screw up all the time. So if I had kids, I know they'd screw up because paybacks are a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Love them, beat them at the same. But how's that work for your kids and grandkids? They always listen to you?
Oh, always.
Yeah.
Always.
Some of them are learning now.
Hopefully.
The ones in their 20s. That the older that
They
we all get, the smarter that mom and dad were.
I had my older brothers that I watched them screw up and go, and I would hear my parents talk about them going, I don't know crap. And I'd never assumed, even to this day, I don't know crap.
And some of them are still learning from their mistakes too. So. And that's truthfully the hardest part as a parent, is to let your children make those choices that you know aren't probably the best.
Sure.
But we've all been given agency in our lives to choose.
Right.
And some of them just got to learn the hard way.
Sure. Well, yeah. In that situation, Jeff, we're talking parenting all of a sudden because I don't know, but have you had the opportunity to give them perspective? Because I know you can't tell a kid or anybody what to do, but have you thought of this? And then still watch, and then you had to sit back because they didn't listen just because of not because they don't love you or anything, but they just got to do their thing.
I always try to.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think you ever stop being a parent.
Sure.
Even when they have their own kids, you can't run their lives for them.
No, God, no, you can't.
But as a parent, I'm going to give my perspective.
At least you have that opportunity.
And they can take it or leave it.
Right.
That's the hard part, is walking away after you've given the perspective.
Right. But at least you know you did, and you leave it at that.
And then you see what they do with it.
Exactly. But that hopefully they learn. We're going to talk more. I want to ask you more questions with parenting, because you have 7, 8, how many again?
Well, 7, 8, yeah.
7.
7 living, 8 children.
Okay. So, how do I ask this question? You think I'd know how to ask a question by now. Ryan, would you like to ask a question for me?
I don't even know what your question is.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Inside the mind of Victor.
Yeah, don't go there. That's scary. There's a reason people won't go. But giving them tools, everyone growing up, certain things, knowing, is there a pattern that you see, though, with every kid of yours?
Every kid's different.
Correct.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, is that kid, you've seen him grow up, do certain things throughout his life, so when they get older, hopefully don't do it as bad, but you still see a certain pattern. And then this one is like, he's pretty smart, he does this, and do you notice that? Ryan, do you notice that with your kids? Do you know what I'm saying? You understand the question?
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think the kids influence each other too sometimes.
Give me an example.
I guess just in the things that they like and the things that they spend their time on, and that becomes something that they can
bond together.
Sometimes for good, sometimes for bad.
Okay.
But you know,
reminds you and your family.
Yeah, we had some of that bonding.
I think there's a lot of different variable influences when you raise your kids. And
sure, I once again, I'm asking, you just, my brain starts thinking of this stuff, and not because I don't have kids. And thank you for sharing.
I'm an open book. I
know you are, and I appreciate it. Obviously, no, I'm not attacking at all. I appreciate your information and knowledge, because like I said, I'm always learning. So I just wondering with 7 kids.
I don't know if I got it right or not. But.
Well, once again, you see a pattern. Yeah, brothers, sisters, they influence because they're together, doing whatever, good, bad, or indifferent. But I just wonder if there's a pattern. Let's say, name one of your children. Give me a name.
My youngest is Jason. He's
okay, so Jason, when he was like 10, you could see he always will do something the hard way. I mean, there's some characteristics that we do, even though later on in life, does that make sense what I'm trying to say to you?
I know what you're trying to say.
Okay, hopefully make sense.
Jason wasn't as hard for me when he was younger.
Is he harder now?
He's just finding his way.
Yeah.
Right now, but he was very kind, loving.
When he's younger?
Yeah, kind of Switzerland. You know, I have one other kid that was that way too. Stay neutral in the family battle. You know.
So are they still neutral? The neutral
Yeah,
ones?
Jason's a little more vocal now.
And how
His older brother that was kind of like him. Kevin's always been Switzerland.
And he still is.
Yeah.
So why do you think Jason's changed or come out of his shell or
He's a different kid. He's older now and
sure
developed a different, his personality's
Yeah.
changed and adapted. But he's, still the same kid and being a kind-hearted, helpful, loving person.
Sure.
And those characteristics that they establish
Yeah.
when they're really young. Usually, I see them. I don't know if this is answering your question, but
It is. You're helping.
Usually, I see those types of things that are established, the habits and the traits when they're young, will carry through. And even children that I struggle with have those good traits still.
Right. Once again, we're all different. I'm just wondering why is Jason as opposed to Kevin? They're both they were kind of the same Switzerland, but now why is Jason coming more out or becoming more vocal, whereas Kevin?
He's just more outgoing and and a different personality and than his brother was.
Okay. I'm curious. I love understanding how people work, and it's like I should have been a psychologist or a therapist, or instead of going to a therapist and needing a shrink. Ryan's making jokes at me, and it's really mean and hurtful. I'm scarred.
One collects money, the other pays.
So you did business management. There we go. Let's get back on track. Sorry. It's the unedited. So if you're watching the unedited on YouTube, I don't think all this will be on the audio. Is it still on? Are we still on?
Oh yeah. We're on it this time.
We've had technical difficulties. Okay, so out of college, 4.5 years, wife, kids. You moved back to Spokane?
Yeah, we had the one child when we moved back. Spokane, started working with my dad. Okay. And was there for...
Did you have to fill out an application? Did he interview you?
No. He let me cut someone. It worked out all right, though. No, I gotta say, not everybody can work with family.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd say probably more can't than can. It worked for us.
That's awesome.
We worked together. We covered each other. And I was there for 10, 11 years. And
That's
about
awesome.
4 years before he sold, I went to work for Yokes. I knew that was not going to be something I was going to be able to make a living on, because the small stores were becoming a thing of the past. We'd already had to put gas pumps in and, moving towards the C-store. And I knew I couldn't buy it and make payments to him and make a living. So when
Did he have an issue with that when you left?
No, not at all.
He understood? Yeah.
He opened the door, about to kick me out. We knew that day was going to come.
Right. Well, as long as you guys had an understanding.
So when Yokes was expanding and really starting their growth that they've been doing for the last 20 years.
Right.
They needed management, and I knew that was the time to go. I'd still help him on my days off
of course,
and whatnot until he sold it and retired. So 29 years of my life in that store.
That's awesome. And time with your dad.
Yeah, wouldn't take it back.
I
a million years.
I get it. No. I didn't work with my dad, but I would not trade it a minute that I had.
Yeah.
You and I were fortunate. Some people don't have dads.
True.
And if they have dads, they're not around. That's too bad.
Yeah, that's sad.
So, were you manager? What was your title at the end of working with your dad?
Well, I don't know that we had titles.
What would you give yourself a title? Did you have management experience is what I'm asking to do with going into Yokes?
Just from running the store, yeah.
Of course I knew.
We just did what need to be done.
Of course. I'm just wondering if what'd you apply for job position with Yokes?
It was kind of started out as what we'd call fourth manager, night manager. I did a couple other things for a few months. Sure. I was waiting for a position to open in management They put me on board because they had some remodels and needed some help
Mhm.
in some positions. So for about 4 or 5 months, I did just whatever they needed done.
Sure, but you were
And
in the
then-
manager.
So I started out as the night manager for about a year,
Right.
and then
Awesome.
we have what's called the third manager. I moved up to that, so they cover the night manager's days off and
Sure.
cover the grocery manager's days off, and kind of the swing position between the two spots. And so I did that for about 1.5 to 2 years, and I've been doing the rest since.
So you, and I was leading you in just basically you went into management because you of your experience and everything. So that I was just trying to mess with you, Jeff, but you didn't play along.
I didn't pick up on it. I was
It's
just,
all right. I'm not very smart. I don't communicate very well. But once again, you were already management with your dad and everything, but you
Yeah.
knew what needed to be done.
different ball game though when you make the transition.
Well, and it was different from a family business to the
Because
corporate.
you're going from a store that's yay big to a store that's
Yeah.
probably 8 times the size.
What would you say was your biggest challenge when you did that?
Um,
What scared you? What did you walk in and go, oh son of a gun? Even though
I
you may
don't.
have
My
a clue?
biggest challenge was working nights.
Really?
With kids.
In kids that were working in the store, or
Well, no, when I had young children.
oh, okay, thank you.
And I had to start out working nights.
Oh, okay,
That was my biggest challenge, just from a family point of view.
okay, thank you.
From a business point of view, it was just learning the transition between small store to supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Give me an example, transition wise, that because I've never worked a
well,
grocery.
it's
I've
just
worked
you're
retail.
used to doing it your way, and there's nobody that tells you what to do or anything, and then there's all of a sudden the way we do it.
The guidelines
you
set
know,
out in corporation.
This is how we do it here at
Right.
this company, and
There's
so
an adjustment on your part.
yeah, it was, and it wasn't a hard adjustment
Sure.
for me because of the background. I think the small store background actually helped my ability to manage
Oh, I would
a
imagine.
bigger store because I know how to cut meat, I know how to do produce
Right.
and all of this stuff, and so you know, it wasn't like I was going in and didn't have a clue how those departments should run. I mean, there are things I had to learn. I didn't know much about floral, and still probably don't profess to, but
Yeah,
but you know,
Yeah.
having that background of doing everything in the store
Mhm.
provided a baseline for me to be able to, I think, be pretty efficient at that.
Well, obviously you've been there for a few years.
Just a few.
Yeah, you've moved up from fourth manager, is that the term, to
Yep.
third, and so you've apparently done all right. I'm assuming
They haven't kicked me out yet. So.
Why they almost you almost kicked me out last. Never mind, somebody almost kicked me out. A lot of these questions we've hit on, and I want to make sure I don't miss something with you because in case the viewers are curious, because once again I don't know
We should
everything.
take call-ins.
We're not that good, Jim.
You're on career paths. What is your question?
Start going live.
That could be dangerous.
I've known somebody that did that, and I've had to call in, but no. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for beating me down and making me. So let's beat you down for a change. So what's a typical day for you when you go to work? What do you start out doing? What do you do? How many hours you work typically a day? Anything else?
Usually 10 to 11.
So you're a
day.
slacker.
Yeah, just a little. So you know, I'll start at 6 or 7 in the morning and go till 5 or 6 at night, and
Depending on what's going on.
yeah, a lot of what happens is whatever needs done. You know, you've got 100+ employees.
That's crazy.
You know, the number one thing is making sure that their needs are taken care of, and the needs of our guests are taken care of, and all the other tasks, the paperwork, the other things, that'll always be there, but you have to deal with all of those things immediately. So it's a people business.
Yes, it is.
As much as it is stacking cans, I can teach people to stack cans.
You have customer service or
Yeah.
relation.
Yeah, so, you know, I spend a lot of time interacting with people, spend time.
Getting called on the calm line, Jeff, customer up front, and that was
There are days when that's
All
your
you
job
do.
is you just
back and forth. Yeah.
all over the
Oh,
store.
sure.
And then there are other days when you got to get your paperwork done. You've got to order things. You got to send your bills in so they
But
can
you've been
write
doing it so
checks,
long
and
that you understand you can balance, and there's
Yeah.
ways to get things done.
you do. And
Yeah.
if you get behind, you just get up early and come in while everybody else is asleep. So,
You'll deal with it one way or the other. What do you dislike about doing your career, and what do you enjoy about your career at this point?
I don't know that I dislike a lot. I would say
I didn't say a lot. I just said, is there
COVID has made it tougher. If we want to
more
go
of a
there,
challenge?
but
Yeah, a challenge.
but just dealing with the both sides of things.
Mhm.
You have to enforce the mask thing, and these people want to know why people are in here without them, and these people want to know why I'm infringing on their rights.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's not my favorite thing
yeah, because you
You know,
can't win.
because you don't win.
Yeah,
I mean, most people are all right, but you got the extremes on both
Mhm.
end, and boy, they can be special at times.
wow.
So that's the side
Is
that's
that the official term that we use at Yokes? We have special customers in the store.
we could go challenging.
No, I like special.
guess.
I like special. I like that.
You still have to treat them with respect.
No, I'm not. Once again,
You know?
we just had another guest on. We were talking about that, where he's learning customer relations. He's 23. He has to deal with new homeowners that are buying a new house in that area that you live.
Yeah.
That are $300,000-$400,000 homes, and some of them can be special, and he's learning how to deal with that. Whereas with me, I've done this crap so long that I can say something and be a jerk to them. They're not even smart enough to catch it, but they don't. I'll be respectful as far as they know, and I'll take care of what needs to be done. But they don't piss me off. But
And keep in mind, the vast majority of people
are nice.
are nice
Are
and doing the best
understanding.
they can. It's just that extreme on both ends
But you've done it long enough.
Make
Once
it
again,
tough.
you've learned how to deal with them.
Yeah. And we have, and on the positive side, my favorite thing is still people.
Right.
I mean,
That's usually what it is with
it
any
is.
career, any job that any people guests we've had on the show.
Yeah,
Mr. King, would you concur?
I would.
Thank you.
it's fun to meet different people. I love to interview people, and
Can I come interview with you just for fun? Because I interview you right now, and I'm enjoying. I'll sign up for something.
You looking for a job? Or?
You never know. I'm looking to change my career here, my normal. So maybe we'll talk after the show. Well, you never know. I figure I'm too old for anybody. I'm too grumpy and opinionated. Plus, I don't remember anything. Who are you? I'm sorry. Who?
Yeah. That's right.
So, time in the office or time in the field? Which one do you prefer?
Well, I'd rather be out on the floor. There's a certain amount of work that has to be done in the
right,
office,
right,
but you don't see the people
right.
So
in there.
being out on the floor, is there like a certain department that you like to be in?
Oh,
or
I just all
roaming?
over. All over. I mean, I spend a lot of time because I'm over the grocery department. I spend a lot of time there, but I still try to help the store director with the other aspects of the store and make sure that, they've got chicken in the deli and they're not running behind there, and everybody's got their stuff out and
Being a team.
whatnot. So it is roaming around the whole thing, but more of the time I would spend right now in grocery. If I were in the role of the other guy,
Right.
then I'd be my job to look at all of it. But it's still sort of my job as an assistant. So
You've been doing it. You know how to make things happen. What would you say biggest misconception that the public has to do with what you do working at Yokes for your career?
that's a good question.
Thank you. This one
Yeah.
time I came.
Yeah. biggest.
Right.
I think the
Mark
biggest.
that on the calendar.
One of the biggest misconceptions may be that when you run out of something or something you don't have,
You're
what they
hiding
want,
it back, aren't you? You're hiding.
Yeah. That's kind of the concept I'm talking about.
I
You know, you bait us in here with the ad, and we don't run out of things on purpose.
Yeah.
Why would we want to irritate our guests?
Yep. It doesn't make
You know,
sense business wise.
And yet, they're just, a lot of people are just sure that that's the case, and especially when during the last almost a year now, where we've struggled to get a lot of things.
Correct. Supply has been limited.
I haven't been able to get my Alfredo sauce for 4 months. When are you getting it in? This is unacceptable, And hell, I'll get it in when it gets here.
When it's available,
we order it 4 times a week.
Exactly.
And sometimes we just don't know.
Can I share what I have to do at one of my retail jobs? When somebody says, you don't have this, you guys don't ever get enough or never get stuff, because I work at a sports store and get something particular of a team, and other people that work in the store really get frustrated with the customer when they say that. I don't. I just go, well, no, we do get it in. We had it 2 weeks ago. Where were you? What? We've had it. We have a lot of fans. We have people come and buy it. So I'm sorry to inform you, we do get stuff in for your team. If you want, maybe call more often or come in more often, and that shuts them up without, I'm not trying to be rude, but just to educate them. You go, no, you guys never get. No, we do. You just obviously not here when we get it. We have it for whatever time we get it.
The word never is all encompassing.
Correct.
But I hear the same types of things.
Correct.
Too. It's like,
but I want to educate
or always, that's the other one.
Yeah.
You're always this. No, not always.
No, let me educate you what I'm here all the time, and this is how this works. Obviously, you've never dealt with this situation. Obviously, people don't know what you deal with on a constant basis. So sometimes it's educating without trying to be rude, but hard not to be rude. I don't. Once again, I've done it long enough where I'm not rude to the customer,
Right.
but I smile when I'm saying it, but I want you to know that we do get this, and this is what is going on. So, because I hate customers thinking that if they don't know, you're telling me what I should know or how it works. Sorry, Jeff.
Well, and the other thing along that line that will make you chuckle a little bit is whenever there's a complaint, everybody's always, I work in customer service. Okay.
If you worked in customer service, then obviously I'd like to know where you work so I can see how that works.
And, again, you treat people with respect.
Correct.
And the utmost.
Yeah, you got. Yeah,
it's kind of funny at times how everybody just knows how we should be doing it,
and yet they're not doing it. I'm just being sarcastic.
But we do our best.
No, I'm not knocking you. I'm saying the customer that. Yeah,
we do our best.
Correct.
To meet people's needs, and sometimes it doesn't happen.
It happens. You're in a supply business, and sometimes you can't get the supply, and sometimes you get the supply, and then there's other people coming and buys it before the other people come and buy it. You've been doing this forever. Make a decent living.
Yeah.
Your income, you get benefits, 401, healthcare.
So I have benefits. We have a 401 available to us. Yokes is an employee-owned company.
Oh, yeah, that's part of their model.
Yeah, so I'm part of what's called the employee stock ownership plan. Okay. So I have that sitting there.
Wow.
Every year that goes by, value of the company is assessed by an independent firm, and they'll say it's so many cents per share or whatever.
So you made money, is what you're saying?
Well, I don't. It's sitting there.
No, I get it, but it's increased value.
As the company's grown,
that's what
increased in value, and the longer you're there, the more shares you have.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
So when retirement time comes along, there should be
something to help you out.
Something to add to the coffers a little bit. So
now that's crazy. Having something to retire on. Ryan, how's that working for you?
Not well. Not well.
I'm hoping.
I don't know that I'm ready yet either, but
no one's ready. But you're going to be a little more financially secure than we'll be knocking on your door for a meal maybe once in a while. I'm just warning you now, Jeff.
That's all right. I got ramen.
We might have a boat to share or something, so you can feed me.
That's right. We could barter. We could barter. You bring the boat on by, we'll come up. And
God, I got nothing.
Go out on the lake.
I got nothing. You guys. We pretty much covered you've been in groceries almost all your life. I was going to ask you how many jobs beforehand, but we've kind of already.
Well, really, it's just been
Yeah.
with my dad. I did have a short stint with Albertsons,
Grocery though.
and then with Yokes, I did spend my time at BYU working for the police department.
Oh, what'd you do
So,
there?
I started out as a student officer, which we did parking enforcement,
Okay.
and then I worked my way up to the student supervisor's position.
Wow, look at you.
So we did work with routing traffic for
Events.
football games and events, and
Wow.
getting all that
Did you enjoy
stuff
that?
out. Work security for the games. Yeah, I like that job because I got paid to go to football games.
Show off.
And-
I hate him.
Stuff like that. I got paid to go to concerts and work security, and then you just had to direct traffic before and after, and so it was fun. I didn't end up in grocery at BYU because they wouldn't pay me what I was worth,
Well, with your
And-
experience.
and this job paid more money,
Wow.
which I needed at that time,
With
especially when I
wife and
got
kid.
married.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and really enjoyed it, my
Sounds
time
like
there.
it.
But it wasn't something that was a long-term thing for me
Sure.
because of what it would do to the logistics of a family. I think,
For events, yeah. There's
and shift work and stuff
Mhm.
stuff like that.
But you enjoyed it. Sounds like you had a good
Oh,
time.
I had a good time, except for the one concert with New Kids on the Block.
Wait a minute. What? I don't know the story.
17,000 screaming girls. It was piercing.
Okay. So, who was this that we played?
That was when New Kids
New
on the
Kids.
Block.
Could you hear them over the screams?
It was pretty loud in there. Pretty loud in there.
Would
I
you
had,
want to?
had to put
No,
earplugs
I'm
in.
not. I'm not a hater. I'm not a lover. I just was wondering if you could actually hear over, because I've heard stories about the Beatles. Let's go old school with Sullivan or some of the others where you couldn't hear the actual band performing because the
There were
girls,
probably moments. I
Okay,
don't remember
yeah,
real well. 'Cause
yeah.
not too long into it, I shoved earplugs in my ears. So.
Thank goodness, so crazy. All right,
Sorry,
Jeff.
that was a side story. But
No, that's fine. Thank you. That's I've never gone to a New Kids, and being an entertainer, no one screamed that loud for me. I didn't have any girls screaming at me, so
I did get to work security for, a lot of church people would come. You'd work security for those things, but Ronald Reagan spoke there when I was working security. I never got to meet him. I was, they let the real cops.
yeah,
be close to him,
he's
but-
still a person.
But
We had a guest on not too long ago, and he was talking about meeting big time political people and how he was a little intimidated, would you say, before. And I keep throwing myself into this, but they're just people.
they put their pants on one leg at a
They
time.
do, and
Yeah.
no one impresses me. No one. It's like, so it's like, Jeff. They're just like you.
Yeah.
They're probably not as smart as you either. Some of the political.
Some of them aren't, that's for sure.
From what I can see. What did you want to? What was your dream job or career when you were a kid? Did you ever want to be an astronaut, a cowboy, a fire?
Sportscaster.
Really?
Yeah.
What would make you want to be a sportscaster?
I love sports.
No, I get that.
Want to get paid
To be at games,
to be a
but you didn't want to play or be a player. But you,
Oh well, yeah. That was never gonna happen.
well, Jeff, I don't really
I have
know
my
you. Back.
father's genes, and there's not athleticism.
Okay,
in
and everybody
so-
has their talents. I'm not.
That's right.
So, but there wasn't coaching or something. But you want to be? I'm not knocking.
I
think that's cool. I'm jealous.
I just always thought it'd be cool to broadcast games.
Did you ever do anything like that? Did you experience a little bit of that?
Well, I played with it a little bit.
What'd you do?
When the new Deer Park High School was built.
And that's where Deer Park, Washington,
Yeah.
a little north of Spokane, and
Yeah, they put a production studio in there.
Okay.
And I had children in the production class that
Okay.
learned how to produce. I've had one or two kids that have produced segments for This Week in High School Sports that shows on
Wow.
the local
Okay.
television.
So how'd you get
And
yourself in here?
So when they started filming games and whatnot, for about 4 or 5 games, they dabbled with putting the broadcasts to the video. It was nothing that ever hit the air.
Yeah, but
It was just to help the kids
learn and play and
learn and figure out how to edit and
Mhm.
run things and whatnot.
What'd you do?
And so I actually called 4 or 5 basketball games.
Wow. So you actually
So I got to dabble
you have
with
to at
it.
least sample your
I go
game.
back and do it again if
In a
they
heartbeat?
did that.
Of
But
course, wow.
that now they just stream it without sound. That you can watch it and they have the PA announcer,
Right, right.
you know, saying who scored or whatever. But I would go back and
Wow.
do that again if they started.
At least you got the sample.
Yeah, it's harder than you think it is too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been on a microphone for years and it doesn't come.
Yeah,
I'm not good at it, but yeah.
Yeah.
And what that'd be.
talking with you doesn't bother me.
But yeah,
um,
doing the play. Would you be play by play or color? Or?
I did it by myself.
Mhm.
There wasn't no color guy.
Mhm.
To do it right, you need to have 2 guys.
Correct. But
But it's kind of hard because, especially if how you would do radio and how you would do video is 2 different things.
mhm.
Because radio, they can't see what's going on. You can't be behind what's happening when it's on video. And that was the challenge, is keeping up with the movement of a basketball.
Right, and yeah, you got to get a little
And
timing
making
with
sure
that.
you got the numbers
And you got
memorized.
stats and information. Did you have
Yeah.
stat sheets to play with at least when
Not
you
a
did it?
lot.
Okay.
I mean, you know.
Because what I know the big guys, they have more, but they
So
do
I-
it so they know.
Yeah,
a
I
little
tried to.
more. It's all right.
I would try to mix my knowledge of sports and how I thought they were doing, or things like that.
Hey, but you're having fun. That's awesome. If we ever do anything sports, Ryan, we got to get them.
Yeah.
Have them come. We'll do it. Either you two or me and you, Jeff. We'll do something.
That'd be fun.
Actually, I might. Well, you need to talk to me. Bring it up. Remind me. We need to talk seriously.
All right.
I might have something that we might have fun with. If you want to come and be goofy with me or Ryan. Seriously.
We could be goofy.
No, well, hell, here we are. Anything else you want to add? Any advice you give to anybody that might want to get into the grocery, the supermarket business, meat cutter, whatever?
Well, I think my advice would be applicable to work in general, especially in today. We've seen a deterioration of work ethic
Yes, we have.
in the society today. We have a hard time finding good workers,
People that show up.
people that show up, people that don't just want paid.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I have a lot of good workers,
Right.
but I can't
you-
find enough of
But
them.
you always need more.
Yeah.
As
And
anybody
so,
I know.
my advice would be, whatever you do, you need to give it your all, and you need to give it your best,
Mhm.
and you need to put that out there and
Don't
develop that sense of work ethic. I'll hire a farm boy in a heartbeat because I know he's been taught to work.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah.
And so, not to offend anybody out there,
If you
but
offend them, that's their problem.
if that's true,
Sorry,
because
Ryan.
being offended is a choice. But
it is. Thank you.
anyhow,
I agree.
but I don't mean to offend anyone out there. But I'm gonna hire a farm kid over somebody who sat in his mom's basement at 22 years old playing video games.
Well, I guess I want to apply with Jeff. So just
It's that interview you
Well, you're
wanted.
past 22.
It's-
crap.
But it's just developing that work ethic and giving your all to what you set out to do.
It's not taught these days through parents or through school or
it's
they're
not,
enabled.
and it's a societal problem.
Yeah.
And I as a parent do my best to teach my children that way, and my children come in at different levels
Sure.
on that spectrum,
Sure.
for sure. But that's my biggest advice. Whatever you set out to do, give it your all.
I think not to add, part of it's because they don't have a mom and dad that can work together.
Well, that's a whole
obviously.
other show we could
Yeah.
go off on. But
Yeah. Yes, we could. Jeffrey, thank you very much. Enjoyed. Seriously, we're going to talk about the sports
yeah,
possibly
that'd be
thing.
great.
Yeah, I have no problem. We could have fun. Or you could have fun and I'll just be stupid. Do what I do. Hey, thanks for being on the show,
Yeah,
Jeff. Really
thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Thank you for listening to Career Paths by InfoNet. Please like, please subscribe, leave a comment, give your encouragement, let you know that Steve, or geez Louise, it's been a long day. Jeff should do sports somehow with me or Ryan. It's your life, make it happen. Till next time, take care.
Good night.
See you, Ryan. Bye. So